for our media briefing on the Invest Sri Lanka forum that we've been holding at the end of the month, as well as to give you some insights as to the developments in the Colombo Stock Exchange and the great capital markets, and what sort of transpired last year and flowing into this year as well. So thank you very much, friends from the media, for being here. Let me first introduce members of the board who are here at the head table. And I'll start from this corner, Mr. Arjun Hera, the independent director, as well as the current BOI chair. And then we have Rajiv Bandaranaike, the current CEO of the Colombo Stock Exchange. Mr. Rehabe Bodhana, director, CSC, former chairman of CSC as well. Mr. Dintu Abesekara, director, CSC. Mr. Kosal Gangani and Mr. Suchiba Peavis along the way in the corner of the room. I think Mr. Suren De Silva will probably join us a little later. So once again, welcome. And I know we've not probably had this media briefing as we normally would every year, so we sort of skipped a year. Last year was quite hectic, but it's good to be amongst friends from the media. This briefing really will focus more on the event that we have on the 27th and the 28th of March, the Invest Sri Lanka Capital Market Investor Forum 2025. You would appreciate that we are having such an event on a scale as large as this. I think after about 11 or 12 years, we last had it back in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. It's, as we all know, Sri Lanka has gone through a long period of turmoil over the last sort of 5 years, transformed, reformed, and now currently is in its recovery phase, and has achieved a good growth trajectory. I think we got the stats just today. The Sri Lankan economy grew at 5.4% for Q4 of 2024 and has topped over 5% for the full year. So we are at a juncture, I think, in our country that we've not seen many times before. And it's quite important that the capital market plays its part in terms of this whole, I would call it a renaissance. I won't call it a recovery. I think we are beyond the recovery and it's about growth now. So this event that we are having on the 27th and 28th will we've got confirmations already of close to 100 foreign investors who will come for that forum. About 30 odd of them are actually fund managers of funds, and the rest are businessmen, investors, all of that. We also have local investors, local market intermediaries, everyone connected with the capital markets ecosystem, regulators, all of them that would be present. And so far, I think we are looking at a crowd in excess of 400 participating at that event. It is going to be an event of national scale. It is quite important for Sri Lanka to be able to attract foreign capital, FDI flows. And the Colombo Stock Exchange believes that the CSC can actually be the catalyst for that and having the event. So we've got government representation coming from the governor of the central bank, who would deliver the keynote address. We would have the SEC chairman present giving opening remarks. We would have fund managers who invested in Sri Lanka over the years. That's Mr. James Johnston from co-head of Redfield in the emerging and frontier markets portfolio manager. And we would also have Mr. Matthias Martinson, who is also another who's a founding partner and the chief investment officer of Tudra Fund, giving their perspectives of investing in Sri Lanka. We would have the Deputy Minister of Capital Markets, Dr. Harshal Surya Peruma also, and like I mentioned, the governor, Mr. Nandalal as well. We also are going to have Ms. Ruini Fernando from Deloitte now, who would also be giving a presentation on country and sectoral performances from a Sri Lankan macro perspective. We have quite a few sessions of panel discussions thereafter that would have even the Deputy Minister of Economic Development and the Minister of Labour, Professor Anil Jayanta, who would also sit on a panel. So fairly senior government officials, bureaucrats, and capital market specialists who would actually present Sri Lanka's case to these foreign investors who would actually be coming to Sri Lanka. So I think apart from the event itself, I think we can also take some credit for bringing over 100 foreigners and helping Sri Lankan tourism. I hope Rajiv, maybe we can add them on as a sponsor now that we have quite a few foreign participants. So that's essentially the agenda, and what we hope to showcase is the investment opportunities that are there in Sri Lanka. So it's not just about listed equity. We all know the case that the current equity markets have. We are the lowest valued market in this region. I think we are still at about 8.5 times price earnings ratio. If you compare that to even the closest I think in the region is probably Bangladesh. I was there just a week ago, and I can tell you, even through the turmoil that that country is doing, their market is trading at a 12 times. So it shows the potential that we, as a market leader country, have, and that's something that we really want to capitalize. So I actually earnestly ask our friends in the media to give due coverage for this national event that will take place at the end of the month, and to help us make this event a really successful one that will benefit the country as a whole. So that's it on the sort of event. But I would also think post-event, we are also facilitating one-on-one meetings for all of those investors with Sri Lankan companies, listed companies that want to meet these investors. So that will also take place over the next day, the 28th, which is sort of all the one-on-one meetings. And I think we've also arranged some outings for the visitors so that they get to see parts of Sri Lanka as well.